Since 1968, Mackey Motors has been the place to find new and certified used vehicles. Along with a knowledgeable and helpful sales staff, you, the customer, are their number one priority. Find new roads at Mackey Motors in Lake City. Mackey Motors post-game show here on 1380 AM, 95.1 FM KC. I'm Jeff Blakeman, joined right now by Sophie Bating of the Kuemper Knights. They pick up a hard-fought 4-set victory here tonight against Underwood. Soph, I think you probably knew this one wasn't going to be easy coming in. You knew this was a pretty talented Underwood club, but I think they gave you everything you could expect here tonight.
Yes. So we went over Monday and watched Panora and Underwood, so we knew kind of how they played. So we just knew what their strong hitters were, so we just went out and focused on them and did what we needed to do.
What did you see from them, and what did you think of Jacobson and Humphrey as hitters coming into tonight?
Yeah, so from going down on Monday, we knew that 7 was their best hitter. So as us blockers, we needed to make sure that we stay inside the pin because she hits a lot of cross. So the outsides needed to stay away from pin so we could block cross. So that was our main point of going into the game.
Able to do that early. You guys were getting her a lot on blocks early. Did she adjust because started to have some success with you guys on her swings about midway through that second set?
Yeah, so sometimes we get some tips on it. So, and then back row, I don't know, those are kind of hard. And she also tipped too, so it's like hard to adjust from going to that and then our back row not knowing what she's going to do. So it's a little difficult when they start switching it up, but we figured it out after a couple.
Really good first set for you and the girls tonight. What worked for you, do you think, here early on into this team?
Definitely our serves. Getting us on a start, big run, definitely helps us. We all get the energy in and we're up by a lot. So then if we do live the serve, then it's big first ball kill, get the next point, all of that stuff.
Up 18-9 in the second set. They go on an 11-0 run, eventually going up 24-19. What kind of happened there?
We have a curse with second sets, I swear. We always, I don't know. From going from the first set, from beating them kind of like a good amount of points, and then we kind of just like lose our energy. I think that's what it is. And then we just start to not care, but like we just start losing our focus. That's it. And then we just fall.
Did anybody say anything there at the end of that second set? You come out, Ashlyn set you up with an 8-0 run off of her service run to start. So what changed in between sets and what was said by this group?
So in the huddle, these games, there's either one or done. So it's stay focused, go in, get all the points, play aggressive, keep swinging. When we start to tip, that's when we get in trouble, and then they start picking up everything, and then it's a good pass for them, and then they get a good hit over. So it's really staying focused and staying aggressive up at the net.
How did you see them trying to block you tonight?
So number 7 was in whenever I was in, so it kind of stinks, but so like when on a 3-ball, I can just see her in my eyes. So then sometimes I'm like, shoot, I should have tipped that over her or something like that. But it's just really noticing where she's at, and because she's gonna have a big block, and so it's hard to get around her.
How did you adjust to that as this match going on? And what was the back row kind of telling you the open spots were?
So kind of like right over, so more like tipping over that way, and just kind of, what I said, tips a lot and like sharp to the net and stuff like that.
Well, I tell you what, Soph, congrats on the victory here tonight.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate you very much for joining us. We'll see you coming up on Monday.
Thank you.
You bet. Sophie Bating joining us. We've got Aubrey Heuton sliding into the post-game area here, and she's going to slide in for a post-game interview as well. We'll get her set up with both of the microphones. And Aubrey, appreciate you joining us. Great job here tonight. You had some outstanding service runs here tonight. What was working for you with your serve?
Well, I just need to stay back. Otherwise they flow out. It's been happening all season, so.
How do you adjust to that, and do you realize it kind of right away if you maybe miss a serve long?
Well, usually in the first couple of points or the first ones I serve, I usually serve them all the way out. And so I've just kind of adjusted from that.
Any nerves for you and the girls coming into this, with it being the postseason and first match of the postseason, or feel pretty comfortable coming into tonight?
I felt pretty comfortable, but I know that, I always have nerves before every game. So, it's just kind of warm-ups, and it just helps me get out of.
When did you and the group kind of settle in, do you think?
Probably hitting during warm-ups. I always feel comfortable hitting.
Take us through kind of hitting and warm-up. So what do you look to do? What kind of hits do you try to do in warm-ups to get yourself ready?
Well, I usually try to do a couple deep corner cross shots, and then some lines, and then some really steep crosses.
What was working for you in the match then, and how were they trying to block you?
What was working for me was probably deep cross, and then there was a lot of line opportunities because they were only blocking me cross, but they were always covering it, so they weren't really going down for me today.
What were you trying to do then? How did you adjust it to what they were doing? They were blocking cross, taking line away, so how were you trying to adjust on your swing, and what was the back row talking to you about?
Just they told me to go cross a lot, and just like in the huddles, we would always talk about what's going on and all that.
What was the difference in set 3? You got up 8-0, but after dropping that second set, after being up by 9, what allowed you girls to be able to hold on there in that third set tonight?
Well, I felt like the energy was really down in the second set, so a lot more energy in the third, I think, really helped us out.
What'd you girls talk about heading into that fourth set, knowing you didn't want to let it go 5?
You know, energy. Coach actually told us to be bold, so that's what we did.
You like to swing. You're not afraid to get in there and swing.
Yeah.
Where does that kind of that competitiveness come from for you?
I don't know. I feel like just like playing around with my sisters at home and everything. Yeah.
So what's this win mean for you and for this group of girls to get through this matchup and set up a regional semifinal on Monday?
It's really awesome, but we need to be more ready for next game too.
Well, I tell you what, great job out here tonight. Appreciate you joining us. Congrats on the win. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, Jeff.
You've had Aubrey Heuton joining us. We got head coach Rusty Wintermote sitting over here, and he's going to slide his way into the post-game area. And we'll get Coach on the headphones. Everybody gets to watch the changing of the headsets and everything on the video interviews. If you're listening on the radio, you don't get that pleasure, but you certainly get it if you're watching the video interview later, which I'll post. And Coach now having a seat here and needs to after this one. Coach, I had a feeling this Underwood team was ranked 8th coming in. Very talented, 9 seniors, and they all play. They didn't want their season, and had a sense they were going to come out tonight and give you everything they had, and they did. Maybe good for the girls to be pushed here tonight, knowing that they need to be focused and to be able to come out of here with a win. This has got to be big for you guys.
It is, and it's big because we learned how to survive in advance. That's what it is right now. And you're right, the seniors, a lot of the last huddles, timeouts, it wasn't what we said, it was what they were demanding out of each other. And one of the comments was, just do our job. If we do our job, we'll be fine. And that's exactly what they did. Everybody knew their responsibility when a hitter was doing whatever on their side, especially pretty much all of game 1, and then not much of game 2. About halfway through 3 and then all of 4, we were doing a much better job of rotating outside our block in the back line to see the hitters, especially when they started to push a little bit. So it was nice for them to feel the pain and fight through it. And especially when they went on an 11-0 run, I think it was, in that second game. And we bounced back, we came back. And all they had to say was, we're giving too many points away, which we were in save mode. And that's not very fun for anybody to be in save mode. So once they handled getting out of save mode and realized how the game needed to be played according to Kuemper, they were fine. And hats off to Underwood. They did a good job of taking away the middle. And Sophie had to battle for a lot of the points, and so did Franny. And then we had to learn how to, because they started to figure out our pins. And so we had to do a better job of, once we controlled the pass, we had to do a better job of getting the pass or the set out to our hitters a little bit quicker, which means our hitters had to adjust themselves. So we had a little more cleaner hits in game 3 and game 4, which kudos to the kids. They adjusted and they listened. So, but Monday night will be a different battle. Very similar teams, and like you said, Underwood was rated early. Their matches with Trainer, their matches with Missouri Valley were all very close. And so that just means if we'll just, again, go back to doing those small things that we've talked about for a long time, taking care of our passing, rotating on our defense, because starting Monday night, it has to be more about establishing a defensive mode, and then our hitting will be there. And that's the mindset we talked about before we came up here.
blocking really well early, I thought, tonight against Jacobson. I think you had her frustrated, and even Humphrey. How did they adjust, or what did they change? Because all of a sudden, about midway through set 2, they started having some success.
She started running more gap stuff, and then they also started setting her with a quicker 4. So it was a faster set out, and we got ourselves going up versus being there. So when they would set it high, we knew it. We had plenty of time to get there. Setting it high, we were there to get touches and blocks. But as soon as they picked up the pace, we didn't adjust to it quick enough, because I think she got 2 or 3 points off of quick sets. Timeout, then we adjusted, got a few more touches, but she did a better job of moving in spots. So we wanted to focus on the setter, stay with the setter, because she likes to dump, and we did a better job at that tonight. Jacobs, she's going to get her hits, she's going to get her kills, but they just did a nice job of rotating her around, and we did not adjust to making that movement until later on in some of game 2 and about half of game 3. So she had about matched game 2 and half of 3 where she was, guys, they're going to go to her. They have to. And they did, and they were successful, and it took us a little while to stop it. But as long as we just said, she's going to get them. We just have to stop everybody else.
Right.
And I think pretty much we did that. Number 2, I forget her name,
Humphrey.
quick leaper on the outside.
Yep.
We caused her a lot more problems than she was used to, the other night when they played Panorama. So we didn't try and make it about Jacobson, but we knew she was going to get it. So we just needed to make sure we were there and try and get a touch. And we were very fortunate early and late.
Serving tonight, I thought, for you guys, up and down a little bit. You get the 8-0 service run from Ashlyn Bating in set 3 that kind of got you back in control of the match, but there were times tonight where they were long, a lot of times long, not very many that were short tonight. So, and some of those were in big situations. How did you feel like you guys served, and was it effective?
We didn't think we served very well, and
Right.
Why I say that is because every time Lonnie or Boz would tell them, move back to the wall, move back, and then we would get it in. Even the short ones we would get in, but every time they would forget and creep up, those are when they went long. And I said, watch. I said, we're gonna give them one. Watch how they keep creeping up. And sure enough, everyone that served out of bounds long, I don't think we had a short serve.
No.
Every long serve out of bounds was because we either were too hyped or we just didn't focus, and we got too close to the serving line when we wanted to do something. And so we just had to keep reminding, go back, control your serve from back, drill it, because when we would drill it, when we kept it low and hard, they struggled with that. They had to create a lot of out of system stuff.
Coach, I want to tip a cap to Brianna Wittrock here tonight. That fourth set for a freshman came up big, came out very aggressive, and when that set was still kind of in jeopardy and very tight, I think she had 2 or 3 straight kills and points on the outside, and then also had a couple of digs. I thought she came up really big for you tonight as a freshman.
Bree, for being a freshman, exactly. We tell her all the time, you're not a freshman anymore, but she had one of those looks in her eyes when that was going on. That was like she wanted it.
Yep.
And you're blessed to have players that want it. And she's grown through a lot this year and had her ups and downs, but over the last probably 10 matches, she's showed a lot of progress in what she's needed to do, especially defensively. But you could tell when she was swinging tonight, her timing was on, especially with Macy. That she just had that eye, that look. You see those players.
Right.
Give me it's the squint of the eye and just give it to me. And, these kids are not afraid to let her have it because they know what she can do. And then, again, hats off to Kaylee and Brooke for having a better passing night later on in the match. And Aubrey took a huge drill off of Jacobson and popped it up. And so, but back to Bree, very, very, very proud of her. And she's a very humbled kid. She just is a very coachable. What do you need me to do? Because we always flopping her around.
Right.
Hey, Bree, need you in the middle. Hey, Bree, we need you left or right. And when we've asked her to improve as a backline player to make her more well-rounded, she's absorbed everything. So I think we're seeing right now, I feel like we're seeing the fruits of her labor coming out in these matches.
Coach, I got the sense into it listening to you here a little bit ago. Trainer must have advanced here tonight. I hadn't heard a final on that one yet.
They won 3-0, but I didn't hear the scores.
Okay. So what are you looking at? What do you know about them?
All I know is that they play very similar to what Underwood does. They have a big outside hitter, but she'll hit more right side than outside, so we have to be very strong on the right side. They run a 6-2, so they're going to have 2 setters rolling around. After that, they're very similar in size to what Underwood has, as far as when their big girl goes out, they have to play a little bit quicker, so we have to be ready for a quicker tempo. And then from what I've heard, and again, I haven't seen a lot, they're very, very challenging as a serving team. So I compared them, Boz and I compared them to Lewis Central, how dangerous they can be with their line drive serves, and we just have to be more focused with that. So we have to be better at serve receive from the beginning to the end on Monday night, and then we just have to make sure that we're trying to get a lot of contest and control situations. I don't worry about blocks, and they happen, but our focus for here out's got to be we've got to contest and control the net. And I think with the competition we played, that's going to be a defensive goal of ours coming Monday night.
Well, Coach, congratulations on the win tonight. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you Monday night.
I appreciate your time as well. Thanks.
Head coach Rusty Wintermote again with the Kuemper Knights. They pick up a 3-1 victory here tonight against Underwood.